What did you make of Keir Starmer's comments that he did not include landlords in his definition of working people?
Look, the guy can't tell the difference between a man and a woman. So what do we expect when it comes to defining what a working person is?
I mean, what does he do? He just talks. He don't make nothing. He don't do nothing. He just talks.
Is being a landlord harder than being Prime Minister?
I would have thought so, yeah.
You work for your money. Now you're putting into your own money into something else. You have worked and you carry on working. There's things to be done. You're not getting anything for free. Everybody's working unless they get paid by the government not to work. That's my opinion.
200 grand a year, 115,000 pension, whether he's in the job for 2 weeks or 2 years. You know, he's got an easier. He probably worked hard to get where he is, but to turn around and say landlords are not working people, you know, he's not right there at all.
He's all right for the super rich. He's not looking after the normal people, run-of-the-mill, ordinary. Those who are striving to make a living, not to take from the state, but make their own. Mm-hmm. That's basically how I feel about it.
How many properties do you own?
4.
How big is your portfolio?
4.
Tony, you used to be a landlord, but you're not anymore.
Yeah, correct, yeah. So tenants and toilets are hard work. I actually prefer property development and then providing services to the landlord and developer market.
I've got 6 shops and 6 flats that I rent out.
Are you a good
Half
landlord?
commercial and, yeah, well, of course. I mean, I look after my properties. I want to maintain them. You know, they're a pension avenue for me for later on. So, yeah, of course, I have to maintain them well. If you look after them well and the tenants are kept good, you know, you're going to get your rent on time, you know.
How many properties is it that you have in your portfolio?
16.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's a family business. It's not just ourselves. It's other family members. So yeah, it's several properties, but we've done it for a long time. And as I say, we've had tenants with us for a very long time, which I hope says something about what we do.
You said you're just beginning your career as a landlord. What made you want to get into this market?
I think it's a good opportunity for me at this stage of my life, where I am. I'm 60, and I'm ready to do something else, or in addition to my day-to-day job. Yeah.
How did you get into being a landlord?
I felt I was being ripped off by the financial services with their pensions. I needed to do a pension for myself. So I purchased my first property.
Excellent. Do you agree with Starmer's assessment that landlords are not working people?
Well, I don't do a 9-to-5 job, but my property keeps me busy. So I have to work during the day to manage that property. Yeah.
Do you work hard?
Yes. I'm hacked off with this government that they treat landlords so badly. Why don't they just spend time going after the landlords that are bad? I'm an HMO investor. I've seen really plenty of poor stock. They're all on registered owned by the councils. Get the inspectors out looking at these properties and closing them down if they're not fit for purpose. I deliver quality properties and my tenants are happy to live in my properties. So I don't really care what the government think about landlords.
I think the government would say they need this money to fix the infrastructure of this country so that the future entrepreneurs go to schools that are not crumbling, things like that. It's a long-term investment for future entrepreneurs, shall we say.
Bull and beep. Seriously. Yeah, no. Putting VAT on private schools, ill thought out measure. Talk about pulling the ladder up after you. Totally the wrong thing. Yeah. Yes, we need to have good quality public services. And if you can afford to pay your own way, you should. Absolutely no issue with that whatsoever. But they're using this massive politics of envy sledgehammer, to crack the nut. And you probably gather, I'm not a champagne socialist, despite coming from a long line of rabid socialists. But it's corrupt. They have no idea how to govern. The Labour Party is dogma. And I think Rachel Reeves has now put up, a founder of the Communist Party on her wall. Excuse me. What planet are we living on?
Why do you think he said that?
Well, it's in line with his ideology. It's a socialist ideology all the way through, and I suppose that's his education, culture, everything that's about him as an individual and the ideology that he represents.
Would you say he's a socialist?
Absolutely.
Frankly, Starmer, the whole Labour Party is a joke. They just do not understand aspiration. They don't realise how much hard work being a landlord is. I know plenty of landlords who put in 70, 80-hour weeks, 6 days a week. They work their socks off, and yet get taxed to hell and high water. They're not treated like any other business, and there are so many obstacles put in their way from doing what is a very, very powerful social function. So, Starmer and his definition of working people leaves much to be desired.
There are people who work long, hard hours who make nowhere near as much money as someone within a portfolio of investment properties. Do you understand the government's argument that those with the broadest shoulders should shoulder the burden of investing into public services, things like that?
Up to a point.
Up to a point.
The Whitehall blob is rather bloated, to say the least. We spend far too much money on foreign aid with countries that don't need it. The whole illegal immigration, and look, I come from immigrant stock, Eastern Europe, family originally, but yes, those with the broadest shoulders up to a point. But it's got to a stage where people just resent it. When you look at capital gains tax, inheritance tax, as an employer, I'm scared to take on people. It just is an extra burden of the business. You've got to pass those costs on to consumers, and ultimately there's only so much that you can charge. So we need a fairer system, one that does not punish entrepreneurship, one that encourages people, as Norman Tebbit said, to get on their bike and do something. We are a nation of shopkeepers.
What does a day's work look like for you?
You can't say really, because of being landlords. It can be anything. Just dealing with day-to-day upkeep of properties. We've had to deal with antisocial behaviour, fires in the properties. It's
everyday maintenance.
every day.
You're constantly on call.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're working. We're actually working 24/7 because your phone is always on. It is pretty much every day, every hour of the day, because you don't know when you're going to be called on. So, we are working.
And, the trouble is nowadays, because of mobiles, you're contactable anywhere in the world, which is unfortunate. So, but again, it's the business we're in, but we're working. I just don't like this working person comment.
What does a day's work look like for you?
A day's work is basically maintaining my properties, looking after my family.
Look, I think Starmer won't last too long as leader. This budget is likely to be the equivalent of Thatcher's poll tax, after which the party will disintegrate in chaos. It'll be beer and sandwiches in number 10, and we'll have yet another winter of discontent. And after which, who knows?
Gloomy.
Cool, man.